Hello, welcome to the preparatory course of Storm Studios Learning. In this lesson, you're going to learn the basic concepts of how rhythm is written in musical notation. Listen to this. All these beats are separated by the same distance in time. 1, 2, 3, 4. When the beats fall evenly, we can follow them with the body, the voice, or the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. In music, we call this constant speed the tempo. Tempo is like the regular walking pace of the music. Now let's write those pulses. And since drums are the ultimate rhythmic instrument, I built this tool so you can see rhythm notation on a real drum set. The way we write rhythm is deeply arithmetic. We take a duration in time and divide it into equal parts, depending on what we need to write. Let's begin with the clearest and most commonly used example, dividing by halves. We also divide by 3, 5, or 7, but for now we'll divide in half. If I write a whole note, this is its symbol. In notation, we organize time into sections of equal duration. Those sections are called measures. And each measure is separated by a vertical line. Now I'm going to divide this whole note into two equal parts. If I divide the whole note into two, I obviously get halves. This is the symbol for the half note. And since two halves equal one whole note, each measure can contain two half notes. Now I'm going to divide in half once again. If I divide each half into two, or divide the whole note into four equal parts, I get quarter notes. This is the symbol for the quarter note. This particular measure equals 4 quarter notes. That's why we call it 4/4 time. The numbers you see above tell us how we count inside the measure. In 4/4 time, we count 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. When we finish 4, we start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, we express the duration of the measure as a fraction, where the numerator tells us how many beats are in each measure, and the denominator indicates the value we are using to divide the measure. Pure arithmetic. Now let's hear what a whole note sounds like inside a 4/4 measure. The count is the same, but the rhythm is different. This sound begins on beat 1, continues through beat 2, beat 3, and ends only when beat 4 is completed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to divide that same whole note into two equal parts. The first half occupies beats 1 and 2. The second half occupies beats 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Two halves complete one whole note. Half, half. Now let's return to quarter notes. 4 quarter notes complete one whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what happens if we divide each quarter note in half? We get eighth notes. Now there are two sounds inside each beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 8 eighth notes in a 4/4 measure equal the complete measure. Or we can also say 8 eighth notes equal one whole note. Now let's divide even further. If we split each eighth note in half, we get 16th notes. Now we have 4 sounds inside each beat. The way we practice them here in my methodology and in the workshop is pi pa pa pa, pi pa pa pa. It's simply a convention we arrived at. That's how we practice. how we rehearse ensembles, and it has worked very well for us. But the important thing here is understanding that 1/4 note can be divided into 4 16th notes, and that 16 16th notes complete one whole note. Notice something important. All of this occupies the same space. The measure did not become larger. It becomes visually a little wider so the notes can fit, but it did not become larger in time. The only thing that changed was the way we divided the time. One whole note divided into 2 halves. Into 4 quarters. Into 8 eighths. Or into 16 16ths. To begin the harmony course, you won't need much more than whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes during the first part. Later on, when we work on melodic figuration, that is, the notes that connect melodies, you'll also need 8th and 16th notes. By then, this will feel much easier, because you'll have been working with these divisions throughout the course. Now let's change the time signature. This measure no longer has 4 beats. Now it has 3. 1, 2, 3. When we finish 3, we start again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We call this 3/4 time, where the numerator tells us we have 3 beats and the denominator tells us those 3 beats are quarter notes. Now an important question appears. How do we write a single note that lasts for the entire measure? For that, we use the dot. The dot adds half the value of the note it accompanies. For example, a half note equals 2 quarter notes. If we add a dot, we add half its value. Half of 2 quarters is 1/4, so a dotted half note equals 3/4 notes. And that is exactly what we need to fill a 3/4 measure. 1, 2, 3. The same thing happens with the other note values. A dotted quarter note equals 1/4 plus half a quarter. In other words, 3/8 notes. A dotted eighth note equals 1/8 plus half an eighth. In other words, 3/16 notes. Later in the course, we'll return to the dot when we need it again. Now let's look at another very common time signature, 2/4 time. This measure has 2 beats. 1, 2. So the basic idea is this. Tempo gives us a constant speed. The measure organizes time into groups. And the note values tell us how we divide that time internally, inside the measure. With that, you already have the essentials: tempo, measure, note values, and the dot. That's how we begin writing rhythm. If you still haven't studied intervals, you can continue with the interval course. And if you already know intervals well, you can move directly to the harmony course. Good luck.